Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. What we are looking here is the barn. For those of you familiar with the Crew 1, that is where the whole story started. I've created a track which is called USA Road Trip, where we visit the headquarters from the Crew 1 and at the same time also the tuners. The street tuner, the dirt tuner and things like that. So we're gonna go as the story went in the Crew 1 from Detroit, New York, Miami, Las Vegas, Los Angeles. 231 kilometers. While we're streaming this, we're also recording this, so because I still need to validate this test, we have to put the checkpoints. 270 I think we ended up. We have chosen a hypercar to do this because, you know, now if we can find it, we can do the validation test. Community races, my races. The USA road trip, we still have to validate it and publish it, of course, as well. So we're gonna go edit this, and we should be able to do the validation test once we open the settings. There we go. USA road trip, here we go. So we're going from the barn here in near Detroit. Off we go. This already changed compared to the Crew 1. We can't get to the highway anymore here. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of a road trip here to get to Detroit. We have put some traffic on it, but we have put it on low density, so we shouldn't have that many traffic. You can do it in a team. Keep in mind that the collisions are on, as always, on my races. Up to our first checkpoint in a way, which will be the HQ in Detroit. That's our first point of visit that we will do. Alrighty. Traffic not cooperating with us. Going through the tunnel, it's sort of the first trip that you did with your Camaro RS 1969. To visit your brother, sort of did the same trip that we are doing here now. And here on our left Left of the church, over here was our first headquarters in Detroit. And then we were told we needed to get a street spec. So that is what we will do. We will visit the street tuners. Under the bridge, for those who remember. A little problem happened here. The street tuners sort of collapsed. So I guess we have to move on with our story and go to New York, to the headquarters there, and visit the dirt tuners as well. We're already fed up with Zoe, so it's time to pay a visit to Harry. Yeah, the low density is 1 car per corner. In the cities, by the look of it. I created this track with a touring car, but there are some highway parts where I thought like, yeah, maybe a bit too slow. So eventually decided to put it on a hypercar. As long as you pretty much keep in lane, you should be fine. The thing might say wrong way a few times, but just stay in the lane and then it's fine. It's a bit tricky sometimes with these checkpoints, especially on the 4-lane highways. Like here we could place one, but in other situations you can't. Because obviously here it splits up the highway in 2 lanes. Seems we have the gearbox on 9 as well. So far the checkpoint seems to be fine. Sort of guiding you where you need to be. Might find some more checkpoints towards the end because I was a bit careful with it in the beginning. You only have 300 checkpoints and we had to cross this map a couple of times, so. But eventually I ended up with 20 or 30 checkpoints left, so. Arriving in New York, visiting our, I think we go to the headquarters first here, don't miss the exit. GPS will guide you around. If you have your GPS line on for a hypercar, it will work just fine. Arriving on our second headquarters, although it completely disappeared in a way. For those familiar with here, the carnival on the left, and you came out of that street and the HQ was here. But it's a street there now. But that was where the HQ was for New York. Had to do some business here, then we met Harry there. And that also means that we could get our first dirt spec, of course. For that to happen, we need to get to the dirt dealers. Which brings us to our fourth point of interest, which was over here, the dirt dealers. On our right, I think it was on the corner here somewhere. That's where the dirt dealers were. Did some business, took care of the Chinese dude or the Japanese dude. What was his name again? Ryu or something, I think. And then we had some business to do in Miami. So off we go on our way to the performance spec first, the performance spec tuner, to meet Alita, which will give us our HQ in Miami. Here we have to go left, we have no other choice, there is no clover leaf here, so we have to go a bit opposite side here for a second. But we put a checkpoint there, so it should be fine. But now we can floor it a little bit. So far the checkpoint seems to be fine. We can find our way. Traffic isn't too bad, especially on the highway. Approaching Miami already. Paying a visit to the performance tuner. Which was somewhere here on our right. A couple of houses here now. Green Food is the place. And then we had some dinner with Alita. And then she told us, hey, I have a new headquarters for you here, mate. So off we went to the HQ in Miami. Which was here on our right. This is where the HQ was for Miami. We did some business here, took care of things here in Miami back in the day. And then we still needed somebody who could help us a little bit with the smuggler's route. So we needed to go to Las Vegas to meet Roxanne. That's what we will do. No, we have not taken the highway here. We are going a bit on a road trip to make it a bit more interesting. We're pretty much going to go from Miami to New Orleans, Dallas, Amarillo, Santa Fe, St. George, and then that way to Las Vegas. Some highway here and there, but not too much. We could have gone over the highway all the way if we wanted, but we made it a bit country roadside in a way. Approaching New Orleans. Quick visit to the city, in and out basically. What is he doing here? Oh no, my mistake. Should have stayed in lane. Coming over the bridge and then take the turn, that would work just fine. I actually had to place a checkpoint there. GPS wants you to turn around on highway sometimes. That's why I said earlier, just stay in your lane, then it will work. But I didn't follow my own advice. Visiting a few cities here and there makes it a bit more interesting than that long highway which goes from Miami to towards Dallas, or I don't even know what it would do. Like, probably will send us in the direction of LA if you would take the highway there, and then just before you get to LA it will probably go right and send you to Las Vegas. So we decided to make it a bit more of a road trip here through New Orleans, and now like here the same, just stay in the lane, it is fine. Up towards Dallas, we're not really gonna go through Dallas, we're gonna go right just before we hit the city. Approaching Dallas, but we'll just leave it on our left here. Taking the exit towards Amarillo. And here we came to the conclusion that we still had enough checkpoints, so we placed some more checkpoints here and there. Not too many though. From this moment on, I sort of looked on my minimap, and every time that the previous checkpoint disappeared, I put another one, pretty much. Going through Amarillo. Quick visit to Amarillo. Just coming by on our way to Santa Fe. Approaching towards Santa Fe here. Also here a quick visit, nothing spectacular, but we're gonna have to go through here. Going right here towards St. George. Put a checkpoint on the bridge, just in case you don't miss it. I did exactly the same when I created this. Placed the checkpoint there, and then I flew out. We have to drive this way to get through the canyon, obviously. But was a more interesting route than just taking the highway in the south there. Looking at that checkpoint, I was thinking like, oh yeah. But that's okay. We have some muddy on our hypercar. Going through St. George. jump here. Going over the Hoover Dam here. That's the low density traffic. Black car in the shades of the corners. We're first gonna visit the HQ in LA, so we're in Las Vegas, so we will take a ride here shortly instead of just going straight for Las Vegas. This is like the only part where we're on this sort of road, which is like sort of B road or whatever it is. Las Vegas. On our left we have the airport, and then we sort of went right here. And we drove to the end of the lane, and then you had like a left-right combination. And this is where our HQ in Las Vegas was. They now built some, I don't know, a little compound over here on our right, which they decided to create here. But it used to be a straight street here. This is where we met Roxanne. Somewhere in a diner there on the edge where we just passed. And then we also had to take down Coburn, which of course means we needed a rate spec. So we needed to pay a visit to the rate tuner. And the rate tuner was over here, which now apparently is a parking garage that they have turned this into. So up we went again, did some business here, especially outside in the desert. Some smugglers missions and things like that, takedown missions as well. And once we were done with that, Zoe took care of Coburn. We took him down, she arrested him, and so we could move on with our trip. Getting our crew together. So we still needed a stunt driver. And that's why we went to Los Angeles. And I now totally forgot his name actually. Vincent, I think his name was. So we had to meet him, and that sort of completed our crew. We had Zoe who took care of the all of the logistics, and in case arrest needed to be done, she took care of it. We had Harry, our mechanic. Alita, I'm not sure what she was doing. taking care of business from the PR stand, I think. Roxanne was our hacker. She hacked into all the systems from the police so that we could smuggle for free in a way, without having too much troubles with the police. And Vincent was the stunt driver who sort of helped us out getting the racing crews. Trying to get to Shiv. That's sort of what we're doing now. I think we're first, it's a bit tricky here. To go from Las Vegas to LA is not tricky, but getting up the highway seemed to be a bit more tricky than I anticipated. So we sort of have to go all the way through LA. Because the first exit that we can take from that highway is on the harbor. So we have to go all the way to the harbor to cross the city to get to the circuit dealer. Which is a route which turned out to be non-existent anymore. This is a road that many people probably will know. Either from the Crew 1 or the Crew 2. If you had some business to do from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, this is sure the road that you take. Up the mountain, down the mountain. There are other ways to get there, but it's actually the fastest way. Either way, you're gonna have to cross the mountain area, so. Of course, in the Crew 2, things have changed a bit. We have planes and boats. So obviously the fastest way will be with a plane nowadays, but that was not the case in the Crew 1. We didn't have planes. So by car, this is probably the fastest route from Las Vegas to LA. I knew I was gonna do that. I guess we're getting tired towards the end of the road trip. We had to create it, put all the checkpoints there, and now we're validating it. It's a bit of a cruise. It's a nostalgia cruise in a way. Stay on the right side here, of course. Otherwise, you might miss an exit here or there. And this is that point where we sort of have to cross the city first to actually find an exit to get into the city. Because the circuit dealer is not that far from here. The only problem is there is no way to get up this highway before the harbor. Circuit dealer is somewhere beneath us here, I think. Also here, stay on the right side. There are one or two more opportunities to cross, like here, for instance, in case you end up on the left side. We need this exit, so that's why you need to be on the right lanes. This is the first that we can take from the highway, first exit. And at the end of the street here, we are under the bridge. And this is, as you can see here, no longer a road, but there used to be a road if you drove in here. And then over here was a bit of a tunnel garage thing, and that was where the circuit dealer was. We picked up our circuit ride and we have met Vincent here in LA, which left us with one more thing, which was the HQ. Don't do what I did. But then you miss the exit. The HQ is now a club or a diner or something, because it was here on our right. This was our headquarters here in Los Angeles. But of course, although it was a bit of a nostalgia trip of the Crew 2 / the Crew 1, we sort of combined it a bit, and we decided to put the finish on the Crew 2 headquarters or house, more specifically the Season Pass house. If you have the Season Pass, then you have this house as well. Just under 50 minutes with a few breaks here and there. We stopped a little bit. That seems to be fine. The checkpoint seems to be fine. It is 231 kilometers. A bit of a nostalgia USA road trip. Visiting the headquarters of the Crew 1 and also 3 tuners and all of that stuff. From Detroit to New York to Miami to Las Vegas, and we finish off in Los Angeles. And as we speak it and say it over here, there it is. It is published if you want to have a nostalgia trip. The USO rate rep under hypercar category, you should be able to find it. If you have me in my friends list, you can obviously find it over there as well. Other than that, the rest of these that you can see here, we also have up on the Race Creator playlist, in case you want to play some of those. This one is seems to be the popular one so far. People are playing this one, Seattle Forest Pot. That's a bit of a dirt track if you want to do that. A proper rally rate, rally cross I mean. Talking about rally rate. We saw in the Crew Motorfest, there were in the Grand Race, were a few tracks where people were messing around on the beach and in rivers with the rally crosses, and then on some proper dirt tracks, they actually were in rally rates. So I think they mixed up in the beta those two disciplines. Haven't figured it out yet. Anyway, that in between. The USA road trip, for those who want to do it, give it a go. It is published 231 kilometers, a road trip of nostalgia from the Crew 1. That will be it for the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.